Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in again. We've got Morgana, Aatrox, Vayne on deck today. This has been one of my favorite decks of the expansion, and I saw a decent success with it, but it wasn't my best deck of the year so far, or like the most recent success. I had a lot of success with the Nico Elder Dragon deck, was it? Oh, jeepers, what was it? Nico Timo, that's what it was. Nico Timo. I had a really good run with Nico Timo, up until I was one game short of Masters. And I just kept losing and losing and losing again after that. So I kind of needed to switch it up a little bit, find something else to break through back into Masters. And this is just a deck I really enjoy that's putting up a solid win rate, and I feel has the potential to win in most matchups just because you can do unfair rally stuff sometimes with your Vayne and your Cataclysms and your Scout units. So I figured it was worth a try. I saw Tracer Sari playing this again, and I'm definitely a net decker, but I especially appreciate when I see like pro players I respect playing it. I'm like, okay, well maybe this is a deck that I can bring to the ladder and try to find some success with. This is the same deck as I'm bringing last time. It's still performing really well. It has the most games played with still like a 55% win rate. And so I wanted to give this one another try. Like I said, I did really enjoy it. I think Morgana can be pretty impactful in this deck, even though she's not the quintessential Demacia champion that you would think of. Being able to target units with equipment and strike spells actually works very well with her. Plus, I also just really enjoy Morgana, and so I wanted to give her another run. I haven't played too much of the Mordekaiser Morgana deck lately, but this is definitely more my style. So let's see how we can get close to Masters again. I was, like, when I was doing so well with Nico Timo, I was just planning on playing until I hit Masters on my own, and then I would stream again, because I could, like, explore more creative decks without necessarily worrying about climbing as much. But it didn't quite go to plan, and yeah, I got one game away from Masters, and then I just lost and lost and lost. But I played against Seku, the guy who got top 4 at Worlds. He was playing a really cool Action Elder Dragon deck, and I'm like, oh, okay, this will be fun, and I got destroyed. It's so funny, because like, when you play against a good player, like there are a lot of times, or whatever, when I lose a game, and I can just be like, oh, well, that's because of this, right? It's because I made a misplay. My opponent just drew better cards and I didn't draw the cards I needed, whatever it was. But like when you play against a top tier player, you can feel like you're getting outclassed. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I feel everything I do, he's punishing me every time they offer a pass. Like right here, I'm going to offer a pass because in this matchup, it's the Puff Cat Peddlers are so important. And we don't need to push damage necessarily because we have so many rallies, that if we're winning on board, we're going to be winning big. I think I'll offer my first form up here. I don't have much else to do this turn or next turn other than apply equipment. So I'm going to do this to get rid of their biggest blocker, essentially. Force them to develop more threatening units onto the board, or like more important units onto the board if they want to contest. I was just keeping up form up here, and even though they tapped down to 1 mana, I want to be able to go into this turn with actions available, so I don't have to just open attack. Well, I'm pretty happy to see that. They're very likely to see a Mystic Shot here, I think. So what I might do is attack with these 3. Or attack like this, I mean. See what they do. If they don't kill my Val, I'm going to get another attack here. And yeah, if they're using like Brittle Steels and stuff. What? I wonder what that's for. Maybe they have Brittle Steel. But I'm going to get the extra attack anyways. So at least I'll get, you know, the Vayne triggers going more. Even if they have another Brittle Steel here. So I think that worked out pretty well for us. I don't know why they Mystic Shot our Broadwing. Maybe they don't want to lose Teemo, or like they want to pump him up with like an Elixir of Iron. But yeah, that just seems like weird. They totally should have Mystic Shot the Valor.
A Sentinel's work is never done.
I'm really starting to feel Legends of Runeterra again though. I stopped streaming as much when the Warden of the Tribes meta was around. And so then when this expansion came out, I really jumped back in. And now I'm finally starting to feel comfortable. Like I understand the matchups again, and just getting a better feel for, okay, if I'm struggling with this deck, maybe I should do this or that. And like getting excited again to really dive into like video reviews and watching different like yeah, like the replay rooms and stuff that like the what do they call it? I don't even know what they call it on Mastering Runeterra. They have like a weekly review channel, like a VOD review meeting type thing, and like getting into those again. So I'm really starting to get excited. I think I mentioned this at the end of my last video, so while I'm still early in this video, I'll mention it again for anybody who didn't like stick around quite to the end of that last video or two. How long ago it was, I don't know. I do really want to start actually go like much more serious about streaming next year. Kind of just like use like the New Year's resolution as my excuse to do that. To where I really want to start streaming more consistently and for longer. When I've been streaming a lot in the past, I've been pretty consistent with it. Like it would be like 4 or 5 days a week, but it would just be 1 hour at a time. So like once the new year comes around, I'm gonna start hopefully trying to stream longer. Also, I've played against this dude at least 4 times. I recognize that name. I'm gonna start here. They can't interact, and I want to be able to play another unit next turn. If I draw like a 2-mana unit or something, rather than having to like. Okay, well, I'm gonna go for this, I believe, because right now the Broadwing kills the Allegiant, unless they use a pump spell. Getting the quick attack on a 3/3 isn't as impactful in this specific scenario, because I can still use this later on to either pull away a big blocker or pick off a little dude. So just being able to keep him flexible, even though right now it'd be nice to get him with him. Pushing this damage is nice. This is the bigger Demacia problem though, right? Ooh, that's really tempting.
I am more than I seem.
They tap below a single combat. So what if I just go Vayne here? Into a
Demons walk
Target Harp.
masquerading as men. Suffer my fury.
Actually, I could just kill her here. Maybe I'd just play Morgana next turn. I think I absolutely should kill her here. It gives me the chance to kill her without losing one of my units. They don't have any pump spells available, I don't think. And it might get really hard to kill her once they do untap with mana available. Plus, that's the biggest threat for single combat later in the game. At the moment, right, like this 3/4, I can at least attempt to deal with him. So should I give us 4/3 scout? I don't think that's going to be very good. I think I'm just going to play Morgana. Shackle the 3/4.
You cannot break a shattered soul.
No matter what unit they respond with. Like if they respond with a Morgana, I can pull it aside if I want. If they spend their whole turn unshackling here, I'm also happy with that. So yeah, I wanna really start streaming next year more consistently. If you guys have ideas for like benefits for the like subs to the channel, I'd be happy to hear. Eventually I'd like to get to the point where I do like Patreon stuff as well. Obviously that's a long way down the pipeline, but just something that I was excited about and want to let you guys know. I think I'm just gonna take this attack. Next turn we'll have Ranger Knight Defector into Tumble Darken Harp, so I'm just gonna play it safe with my champions for now. And my O1 here, my challenger guy. He's not killing anything, so I'm just gonna try to save him for when I need to push more damage. At some point, having them forced to spend 4 mana on the Shackles is kind of nice. For example, this turn, if they played the 4 mana Shackles and then a big unit, giving us the opportunity to attack with our Ranger Knight Defector without worrying about interaction. I would really like to level Morgana soon. I feel like that's just such a big deal. It's actually really troublesome. The reason I'm worried about this is because it kills both of our champions without it dying. But it doesn't have Fury, so I was thinking it would get like all the extra HP from Fury. I guess that doesn't matter too much. But I just don't want it to kill our Ranger Knight Defector. That's my issue. If I pass here, are they happy to see the pass? Surely they're going to take the opportunity to kill my champion, right? Okay. I burnt 3 mana there. I think I'm okay with this. It gives me the opportunity to untap. I have a strike spell. Oh gosh, that's one of the worst possible cards we could have seen. That's really bad. So I might be forced to use this. Gosh, this is so bad. Okay, well, how do we do this? Scout attack. Into a pump spell, we get blown out really hard. I think we just have to go for it though, don't we? Aren't we just getting outscaled? We just have to take the gamble. What? Why do you ever take that block then?
Everything burns.
I'm gonna do this right now, because it gives us the 0 mana tumble next turn anyways. And it levels our Vayne. For the extra HP is nice. But yeah, just guaranteeing we get that 0 mana rally next turn if we need it. And now they're kind of put into a position where if they give me 1 action next turn, I get a free rally. They have to kill this on the open. But then I can just go Ranger Knight Defector, rally. And since we can play Tumble every round now, I don't think there's any reason for me not to do that to try to level up Morgana faster. Ooh, that's really good too. Either to get more rallies. Okay, perfect. I think this is fine. We can level Morgana this turn if... I don't think it's worth the 6 mana condemn here. I'm just going to try to do this first. They're forced to block with their Fire Spitter. This guy's still shackled. They haven't invested in that at all. Okay. I think I just get another rally here though. They're gonna have to have another pump spell. But now our Morgana's gonna level. They have to have another pump spell plus strike spell if they don't have another unit. Surely they have a unit though, right? Okay, well that's curious. Shyvana's gonna be a 3. So yeah, I don't think there's any way they stop us here. With the new dragon, it has to be pump spell plus strike spell in hand. This is what I mean though, like, I think this is usually a pretty tough matchup. But just our rallies are so good. Okay, yeah, that's game over. I think people underrate these Demacia matchups though. I think they can be very exciting. Whoops, that was almost a punt. I don't know anything about Morgana's lore. I feel like she looks so cool here. She just like Raven villain, like mysterious character of origin. And she turns so bad, poor girl. Kia would be ashamed, maybe, according to lore. I have no clue. I really love that new Mahira card. I'd love to get that in more decks. Is Mahira a subtype? No, okay. I was curious, like, if you could put it in Nico decks. It's just, I don't think it's a great card. I just think it's a cool card. Maybe the Range Knight Defector is the keep. But I really like looking for equipments in this deck. Like early curve plus equipments can at least help us get on board. And in the Demacia Mirror specifically, I don't like being slow out of the gates. Like I guess I generally take my risks that I'm going to draw into my higher end units. I don't think there's any reason to play Dark and Spear first. I'm just going to play Dark and Bloodletters to kind of bait them. I'm just going to assume they have a brick jaw at this point. There's no way they'd pass that often here. Oh man, I feel like I haven't activated Dark and Spear in a while. I like that. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean of why I mulligan aggressively. Why I don't keep Ranger Knight Defector. I hate when this happens to me, you know what I mean? Is there anything I should do here? I don't think I do anything here. Maybe this deters them from attacking even if they're afraid of a pump spell, you know what I mean? Because if they attack, she goes to 4. Then they're forced to pump spell preemptively, so I would know I can beat them with my pump spell. So I think it's actually really bad for them to attack here. Like, they'd have to just call my bluff. Because if I have a form up, even if they have a form up, you know? I'm so happy Shifana has a good deck, though. I think it's fascinating, all the cool dragons. I really want the Elder Dragon plushie. I'm not going to take the bite. Or I'm not going to... Actually, I'm going to bite here. I'm going to do this because I want to be able to level my stuff. My Aatrox. Like, if they have a single combat, we're fine still. Or not, like, level my Aatrox, I guess. Morgana, that's what I meant.
Demons walk among us,
Now I wish I had that quick attack back. I need to be careful of Enraged Fire Spitter.
You cannot break a shattered soul.
Okay, I'm definitely just unshackling here, I think.
Purified bolt.
Now I do have to gamble the Vayne. But if they do that, they're not killing my Broadwing either. And then I just get Aatrox down next turn anyways. I'm gonna, if they want to use their pump spell here, sure. I'm just gonna try to push damage. They were so slow out of the gate that if I can push some damage here, they might have trouble scaling fast enough.
Into the dark.
Okay. Maybe it's not worth it, because I just talked about being tapped out, I can't even threaten the form up, so maybe it's not worth it, but we can still kill Morgana next turn. Single combat too is obviously nice. They should open attack, I think. Because obviously, they don't know if I have a form up since I didn't have the mana to even represent it. Ah, rats, I was gonna Darken Sphere. Well, now what? I could just play Aatrox. Oh, he's got Deathless? Ooh, wow, that sucks. That's really annoying. Okay, I'm just gonna single combat this, actually. It doesn't feel great, but I don't think I should leave an 8 power toughness on board twice. I'll just take a hit from Morgana.
Own your frailty.
And our Morgana is getting close to leveling up too, if we can find her. So now our hand's a little bit clunky. That's actually a fantastic draw. That's pretty difficult for them to deal with. Aatrox looking a little pathetic here, to be honest. I want to do this. Maybe they'll single combat him before he gets big enough. Okay. Oof, okay. Good. Good, good, good. Now we're just trying to do our own scaling. Again, I'm just doing that to try to get our Morgana leveled as soon as she comes down. Ooh. Interesting. Or we could just like slam in a Naka here, and then next turn do our rallies. I think I'm just gonna kill the unit. I can take 3 extra damage here, but I'm also taking 2 extra damage in the future. I guess if I do this, it's more likely our Vayne can attack. Sure. And it's just, I guess, saving health. Sure. Let's see. We could also just play Naka next turn. But we just don't have enough units to go wide with that strategy. If they have a strike spell. I mean, what if we just do this? Because I can still play a Naka next turn, even if they interrupt this. I don't know. This was, I feel like an experimental play almost. I normally would not have even thought of that. Usually I'd be so traumatized, scared about if they have a single combat there, but all of a sudden we're on board faster than them until they play Elder Dragon. So I think I'm just going to get a knockdown first. Shoot, that's annoying. It's going to be a 13 power. Jeepers, okay. Well. We can go double a Naka. And then just hold up. Form up in case they try to block our Aatrox. And then just try to go wide. How much do these guys cost? 3, 1. Okay, yeah. I'll see what happens. Saradu. Oh, let's go Saradu, actually. Wow. The thing is, he's just got Deathless, and that's annoying. But this way, at least next turn, he can only kill one thing, and then he's gone forever, hopefully. It looks like they're running 2 copies of Elder Dragon, though. Okay. They still have to work through a lot of the Darken. They're gonna kill my Naka, right? That's what my guess would be. Ooh, there we go. What?
And they said the dragons were gone.
Why? I actually don't care if the Vayne dies. If they decide. I already have the tumble in hand. Oh, he doesn't have Challenger? Oh, wow. I literally never noticed that. I just haven't seen it happen at all. When Elder Dragon dies, he doesn't get the boons again because it's on play he gets the boon. Well, that makes things a lot easier for me. Like, I was gonna say, if they had 8 mana, imagine if they have Judgment. So what I'm gonna do here is threaten the Ranger Knight Defector rally. As soon as they play a unit, I can just shackle it and then open attack next turn. Oh, interesting.
I'm ready. Now where are they?
So yeah, we just win.
I am your darkness. I am your truth.
Fascinating game. This is what I mean about playing against these big Elder Dragon decks. There are lots of ways to apply enough pressure to keep up. I will do this. Next turn we can play a Naganeka, Rally. Like, I don't know what they can do here to stop us. They literally, there's nothing in their deck that could stop us, I don't think. We are unstoppable now, Elder Dragon. For someone with such a cute stuffed animal, he's certainly much more terrifying in person.
They are blind to their own weakness. Pity.
I feel like, what was the point of summoning the Dragon Guard Lookout there a minute ago when they already had the attack token? Were they just trying to get a Dragon Boon to, like, maybe get Challenger or something? Oh, and I have a knock on board too, yeah. If I thought we weren't guaranteed before, we definitely are now. Alright, good results so far. I feel like we've gotten pretty good draws. Was this the game against Morgana? I think it was the last one when we had to give up that one free attack to Morgana. That one I was a little worried might not go our way. But yeah, so far pretty convincing. Like I mentioned, right now the current deck has a 55% win rate about. There is one deck list that only has 70 games that has almost a 60% win rate. That's running Faithful Wolf Dog, the Darkened Fan, a Fish Fight, and 3 copies of Magical Fettering, the new Demacia spell, 2-mana slow spell, grant an ally +0/+2, and curse your opponent with suppression. I think that deck makes a lot more sense in like a Galio deck than a Darkened deck. I think the meta is very fascinating at the moment. Even though sometimes the games feel like they get out of hand when, like, if you can't answer Mordekaiser right away. Oh, look at this. I'm excited. Like, this is there's some pretty cool decks flying around. Okay. Like Mordekaiser, Morgana, for example. If you can't kill Mordekaiser on sight, it gets a little frustrating when he just goes revive, 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 and you're just like dead on board essentially in one turn. But otherwise, I feel like most of the time, in most matchups, there's still a chance to win, like, no matter what deck you're playing. If you're playing a reasonable deck. For example, at the moment, I've really struggled with any aggro that's not like Nico decks. But I would say it's a pretty skill-intensive matchup at the moment for most matchups. This is what I mean about why aggressive kind of, or why mulligan kind of aggressively for equipments. I like to be able to get this on board early. Here, I don't think I'm going to go for Vayne. I think I'm going to go for Badger Bear into Range Knight Defector. I wonder if he's going to take this trade. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that's a little unfortunate. Our scout unit could still get in a decent attack next turn, though. Which I think might be worth the gamble. They might get really big. I'm pretty happy to go next turn, set up Fleet Feather Tracker plus Vayne into a turn 6 Aatrox, so Aatrox can get in by sacrificing the Fleet Feather Tracker. But we might not have many other turns, too. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm really happy with that. That's nice, too. I think I'm gonna forego applying the equipment here. Because I want to unshackle this next turn. Like I want to play Aatrox plus unshackle.
Those who kill innocent
If they attack here, I'll know what to do. If they attack, I can just block and trade. If they don't do that... Okay. Oh, well, now that we have form up, that makes things a little different. I think... Jeepers. We have several options here. Okay, this is a tough turn. If I unshackle and play Aatrox, we don't keep any of our interaction. So like we might just run our Ranger Knight Defector to death here. Ranger Knight Defector dies either way if we try attacking just with Ranger Knight Defector alone. So I think what I'm going to do is just Aatrox. We can delay the Vayne rally level up by a turn or two by leaving this guy back. Try to just control the board and set up for a turn where I can get in with Ranger Knight Defector again, maybe once we find the quick attack weapon. So for now I'm just gonna do this. See what they have to say, we can keep a form up. Because we got so few equipments in the early game set up, this World Ender might not be very helpful for a long time. So I do want to focus on keeping Vayne safe. They're not a Demacia region, so we don't have to worry about strike spells. How else are they going to kill Vayne? Maybe they run form up, I'd imagine, in an own deck. Not form up, fish fight, excuse me.
you'll ruin the work.
I am definitely going to keep Vayne alive here. I'm going to make it hard for them to kill her. I don't care about this guy being on board as much right now. I'm going to really make them try to invest resources into this Vayne if they want to kill her. Or eventually we will be able to hopefully get World Ender triggered faster. Especially with regen, this Aatrox might be a pain for them until they like forge this guy. Darken Aegis, that's tempting too. That can at least get rid of the Glacial Saurian. And just make their freezes and pump spells more difficult to utilize.
Through the darkness, I see something new.
Interesting.
Is no place for cowards.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize Vayne could die there. Oh well, that's fine.
I'm not done. Monsters still lurk in Demacia's every shadow.
I'm thinking of sacrificing this Badger Bear right now, so we get another rally next turn. And he will die anyways if they trade, so I can play Zolani. Oh, yeah, what about the... Oh, okay. He's still gonna kill either of these if I apply the Darken Aegis, but this Blind Mystic wouldn't kill him back, so I'm actually gonna do this. So if he wants to trade, he has to throw away the Saurian or invest a pump spell. Morgana's halfway leveled up too, so she'd be a pretty good draw at this point, I'd say. I don't like that at all. Unless they're trying to level Morgana. Warren could come down this turn. Okay, well, since we actually drew this, I can go Ranger Knight Defector plus Tumble. So what do we do here? We could just take this attack. Maybe play Ranger Knight Defector next turn. Like, play Ranger Knight Defector this turn, but use the Tumble next turn. Because I don't want them to play a huge unit that we can't even attack into right now. And our champions can't attack. So that's so much of our board presence that's completely unaccessible to combat at this point if they have a huge Ornn come down. Although they don't have any weapons. Does Ornn copy the weapon, right?
My path is set.
So maybe he wouldn't be that big. Okay. Obviously that's a pretty harsh way to... is that spell called Harsh Winds? Sorry. I didn't mean to make a pun. That was a stupid pun.
Easy, Captain. Your peace is at hand.
I'm doing this because now they're starting to build a better board on us. I don't want to get hit in the face next turn as hard. We can still just go Ranged Knight Defector plus Tumble next turn. Vayne would level. Vayne's level's kind of irrelevant though, that they just have such a huge board. Yeah, that guy's a problem, huh? Oh, thank goodness they're attacking. If they're not even leveling Ornn here, I think we're in good shape. Maybe not good shape, but we're at least... okay. I really wish we could get this World Ender down soon. We still have all of our weapons at this point are pretty good top decks. Should I tumble here? Get a free attack to do what? Becomes a 5/3, just trades with like their Omen Hawk. I could just pass the turn to play Zolani as a 7/7. I think that seems fair. I might just pass here. Ooh. Is that any importance? Probably not.
You will obey your general, coward.
No, you will obey your
I'm going to attack here for sure.
am ascended.
Kill the Saurian. Then let this see how it plays out. Another harsh ones would be... I guess not too disappointing. We get the weapon back, but it wouldn't even affect the Broadwing. So yeah, harsh ones is great here. Down to 2 cards in hand. I'm just hoping we can last long enough to get our World Ender down, because right now the rest of our hand is looking a little flat. Right now I could tumble. Again, to what end? If we tumble, we'd have to use catch. Even to kill this guy, which is kind of bad at the moment. I think I just pass and say, you have to attack into my 7/4 next turn. And also just hope we can draw something else here. Even like a second Vayne would be really good, so when she's leveled, we can... oh, that's actually fascinating here. Now we can actually get the Ranger Knight Defector attack if we need to, where we want it to go. A freeze here would be a little annoying. But they're not pushing any damage if they freeze her. Okay. I really wish we had the Darken Harp. That'd be so good right here.
You wanted the god of the forge, you got him.
This Blinded Mystic being a 6/5 is kind of a pain. I think what I'm going to do is actually just play this here first.
For too long have I butchered your statues.
Cataclysm here, so that they're not going to kill our Ranger Knight Defector. And they can't save the unit. Level our Vayne.
Every last monster will be purged.
I don't know if I should have thrown away my Ranger Knight Defector there to kill Ornn. I'm not really scared of Ornn's champ spell if I draw a second one. Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty good too. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Yeah, that went poorly. Ornn getting so healthy, but I guess Sharesies wasn't a card I was playing around at all anyway. This is just the bigger Demacia problem, isn't it? Man, I don't like stat decks. That's like, I know I'm playing like a mid-rangey Demacia deck, but oh, I just feel so dead when I see like a 17-10 on the other side of the board. You're not helping. At least now I can kill Ornn if I attack and use catch for a +1/+1. Just hoping they don't have a What was that for? Why did they do that? I don't like that. Shoot, man. Yeah, they just drew better than us, I guess. We couldn't kill Ornn in time. I guess I was the one who not they could I threw. I could have killed him obviously. When I used my Ranger Knight Defector to kill little 2/1 because I was thinking I could get more value out of the rest of my team. Anyways, that was my punt. I think we just die here. No, we're fine, right? We just need to chump block something. Oh yeah, that's a lot. Okay.
Very well.
Yeah, woof. Yeah, that was again. I should have just thrown away my Ranger Knight Defector to kill Ornn. That's just not having much experience playing against Ornn. I didn't really understand how big he could get. So I don't think I'm too angry at myself for losing that one. I just didn't understand the concept of what I needed to prioritize then. Like for example, like with re-equipping the equipment and Sharesies, I just didn't contemplate how fast he could get healthy again. I was like, oh, Ornn's just going to be at 2 HP for the next few turns unless they top deck like a Sky Splitter, you know? So that was definitely my bad, but you learn as you go along. I was talking to my one friend about trying to not get angry at video games. I'm the chillest person ever playing video games, except for Legends of Runeterra. I get so angry at myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? I punted that game so hard. You know, it's like... It's so funny, because it's not even... It's just the battle of wits, just being bad at the smarts, you know? Which is so funny, because I love card games. If I could only play one type of game for the rest of my life, it'd be card games. More than League of Legends, more than Overwatch, more than sports games or FPSs, anything like that. But when it comes to playing with friends and family, it's so chill. I love the casual part of it. But then when it comes to playing online, like trying to climb the ladder, it's so frustrating losing. This matchup could certainly be awful for us. I'm not excited about how this one's going to play out if we don't get our board set up really early. So I might even just pass up on Vayne here to go turn 4 Ranger Knight Defector into Darken Spear. So that plays around the 5 mana or 5 damage spell Death's Grasp, I believe it is, right? We can get double Darken Spear buffs here, which is huge. Actually, we can do a lot of damage here. Getting double Darken Spear buffs and potentially getting this guy up to an 0-4 tough if we need to use catch this turn to kill something else. The only thing it's the card that grants Deathless to an ally in hand. That's the only unit I'm thinking of that would have 4 HP that I would need to like, or 4 attack damage that I need to be careful about with my Broadwing. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy to just do this. If they Vengeance here, I think that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's totally fine with me. I'm not going to use my catch here. It might be more valuable later to protect one of my units with like the surprise giving a unit +0/+2. Oh, baby. Okay. I'm gonna use my unit mana here. I can keep up form up for a Death's Grasp. But also, next turn, I don't need as much mana if I'm just trying to do, like, Vayne plus Tumble stuff as much. Although, like, Vayne dies to Hate Spike. I just don't want to necessarily expose her as much right away. This upcoming turn, when I have more mana, the one extra cost on the Tumble won't matter as much. I'm not quite sure if that calculates out, but at least that was my gut reaction if I didn't calculate it quite properly. So right here, if they have a Death's Grasp, it could kill our Vayne. But a Hate Spike we could play around. So now this is, again, they're going to have to use something like a Vengeance to kill this. Or another Pioneer spell. Yeah, okay. That's fine. So this is dealing 2. This is dealing 2. I'm not even that mad about that. Like, they're using a lot of cards here, but whatever unit they play next, getting double husks might actually be a problem. Okay, Fear of Fearsome isn't the worst thing in the world, but our hand's looking a little light. That's not a bad draw. Being able to... Okay, yeah, Morgana is just going to kill our stuff. I guess this is over. Yeah, we don't have anything we can do here. But yeah, that matchup seems really awful. Once they get to turn 7, it's just game over.
And we will end them.
I'm not a huge fan of those Hate Spike and Death's Grasp decks. I feel like they just stall for so long that it's pretty impossible to beat them unless you're doing your own unfair stuff. Oof, yeah. I guess while it's the most popular deck in the format, maybe you don't want to be running our deck. Again, Vayne rallies. I just don't think that impactful when they can Hate Spike and Death's Grasp and Glimpse Beyond and Vengeance. I'm just gonna go for the stats and stuns. At least these first 2 turns, we're saving up enough spell mana to play Cataclysm when we need to, if we can get a unit big enough to kill Mordekaiser. That's probably not going to happen until... Like Mordekaiser has 8 HP. How are we ever going to get anything with 8 power until we just flat out play our own Staradu? You know what I mean? I'd love the top deck a 1, 2, or 3 drop here so we can get quick attack on our Fleet Feather Tracker and give him Challenger. I don't see any reason to play one of my equipments there. We're not burning any mana, you know what I mean? Yeah, this matchup feels miserable. I feel like everything I do, it's just like it loses to Death's Grasp, or there's just no way to really play around it. You know, like we literally just have to run out our dude and say, do you have Hate Spike? Do you have Death's Grasp? Because it's like you can't use a single combat on their 2-1, you know what I mean? But then they just, sometimes they get their combo so fast, it gets really tough really quick. Just spending my mana here to level up my Morgana faster. I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you been finding any success with decks like this? I've really enjoyed it, but I'm going to do this. They might have their own Morgana, but my Morgana's not going to be attacking in combat soon anyways. I'm going to be spending so much unit mana this turn and next turn to try to get Aatrox on board. I don't think I can pass up that much tempo on board, even if it gives them a chance to do something here.
I shall show them what it is to fall.
This is the one turn when they don't have enough mana to Vengeance. They're always going to have, like, Death's Grasp. Sure. But it helps keep their board clear of
Own your frailty.
Aatrox targets, or Mordekaiser targets.
Only war can bring me peace.
Jeepers, man. This deck feels miserable to play against with our deck. At this point, maybe we just pray again. They just pray they don't have Mordekaiser. We literally just lose here if they have Mordekaiser. Okay, I don't even know what to do. This matchup I feel is not good. I'm sure I'm playing not optimally either. I think I'm just trying to force too many awkward things to try to race them before turn 7. But our deck isn't in like an aggro deck. I want to get really tricky here.
The drum of war must sound one more time.
You leave me no other choice.
Literally, yeah. I was like, I don't know if we have any other choice here. We kind of just have to go for this, don't we? Now what do we do, though? We can't attack with Morgana. She just gets killed by the other one. This poor farmer. I never noticed that. This guy's just like, what on earth is this thing? Okay.
How can I forget the names of my kin?
I'm just going all in at this point, obviously.
Do not look away.
It's so good for their deck, though. So many times it's like a 3-mana vengeance to your key units. And they're happy to kill their stuff. Like, there's no downside to it. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not even saying it's like the worst deck in the world to play against. It's just for my specific matchup. I enjoy this deck a lot, actually, playing against it. Even if I don't play it much myself. I actually do think it's pretty fun to play against. It's just so hard for me to deal with some of the decks I've been playing. Cool, cool. Right, Deathless. Probably having Glimpse Beyond. Okay. Starvado can we kill him? Okay, we're done. We're done here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to Masters again. Maybe later tonight or next morning when I'm playing on my own without this deck. I appreciate its fun factor. I went like 2 days without playing it. I was like, this deck's not very good right now. Brought it back and okay, yeah, now I see. So anyways, I'm going to try to find something else to play. I was enjoying Nora Elder Dragon, but again, I just couldn't quite push into Masters. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back, not tomorrow. We have our family Christmas party tomorrow. So hopefully the next day. I'll see you guys around.